Welcome to the Eclectic Thrifter and Crafter, where we thrift and craft with purpose. It's not Smalltalk Sunday anymore. It is now Smalltalk Monday. But better late than never. It all started with a reclaimed box of doll furniture. And come November, early December, hopefully I'll have a build that looks something like this. Today we're going to use our lathe for the first time, but our focus today is not on the lathe. We're making a 1/12 scale, 12-foot Victorian fishing pole. Since this is a prototype for myself, the supplies are kind of random. I just grabbed things I thought I might use, and I really only used a handful of items. Now the struggle I had making the video is that the light was just too bright. Therefore, you couldn't see really what I was doing. The lathe was actually very easy to use. It was not very expensive. I think I only spent $48 on it last spring. So after getting the handles made, I decided to use the sander outside to make it easier to whittle down the poles. These are the little handles, and I think they turned out very well for my first try. I've made 4 poles altogether, but we're just going to assemble one pole for the video today. You may have to do a little sanding and whittling to make sure that the shape smoothly transitions from one piece to the other. Since the pieces are so small, the transition in size is not that noticeable, so it's going to be quite easy. I used this aluminum plumber's tape to make the connection sites. I did try it with tin can, but it was just too hard to work with. For a snug fit into the female end, you may have to add an extra layer of aluminum tape on the male end. Now this piece of tape is for the male end of the pole. And now we'll make the female end. In making the female end, it might take a couple of tries to get it nice and snug, but once you've done it a couple of times, it'll go quite smoothly. We have to quickly cover another male end for this next pole. Depending on the size of the fishing pole, you'll have at least 3 male ends. Now these are delicate, but they are for a model house. Now for the colors, I sort of experimented using permanent marker and the watercolors. When I landed on the mixture of colors to mimic the old-fashioned pole and the old varnish, I was able to mix it together with rubbing alcohol, and that's what's on the sponge. And it sort of blended the colors and it gave it that old varnished look. I do like using the watercolors with wood for miniatures rather than acrylics because it dries so fast. And this is one of the reasons why I prefer to use nail lacquer for paint, because I can accomplish the job a lot faster. Now we're going to set the eyelets, and once again the little light on the magnifying glass that I need to use just prevented you from seeing what I was doing. But there are the eyelets right there. And now we have our fishing pole. We're going to add a little color to it and then make our reel. I've taped off where I want to add a little color, and that's how it looks. I think I did all right for my first wood turning project. I put a little lacquer on there. Here we're going to secure the eyelet with black thread and mimic that antique look. Once everything's dry, you can go back and cut off all the stray threads. The eyelet at the top of the fishing pole is set in the pole at the top. It's not tied like the other eyelets, so we're not going to be putting black thread on this one. We're going to anchor it in with some super glue. And I made the eyelets out of floral wire. And there it is. Now we're going to make our reel. I was originally going to use red celluloid buttons, but I ended up using these brass buttons. Now this one has a well in it. I'm going to embed some wire in there and then put that button on top so I can attach the reel to the pole with the wire. These buttons actually turned out very well. The buttons I was originally going to use, I kept gluing them to my fingertips and then kept gluing my fingers together, so it wasn't my best day ever. But this reel turned out very well. At least I think so. And I think it'll be fine for my build. Now we're going to make the little carrying case. The double-sided tape comes in handy for all sorts of projects. I will refine this project as I go along. The first one is always going to be the prototype. At this point, my pattern is only in my head and what I can get from a picture. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our project today. I apologize for it being so late. Please like and subscribe, share my thrifting and crafting channel with your thrifting and crafting friends, and help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. I'll welcome your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. Check us out on Instagram and tap that notification button for upcoming announcements of thrifts and crafts. But most of all, have a lovely, lovely day.